Good morning, it's Gail with Gail's Southern Living. Welcome to my garden. Some parts of my garden are wrapping up. This trellis seems to be doing okay. I actually bought two. The other one, I put too many morning glories and loofah on it and it tipped over. So we'll see. It's kind of buried over there. Anyway, I've already pulled out my squash because of squash bugs. So my strategy is I'm going to plant garlic like that pink bed right there. I'm not sure if the white bed ever got any squash bugs, but I'm going to go ahead and treat it as well and put some garlic. I did go ahead and replant this planter here and my amaranth is coming up. I went out of town, so they were kind of droopy yesterday, but I watered them. They seem to be okay now. Okay, I've kind of replanted this planter as well. So some amaranth, some marigolds, some catnip, and I went ahead and planted some zinnias, and I believe that's the Paris Island lettuce, if I'm not mistaken. So, trying to just revive the two beds that are back by the door that are real easy to maintain as I go into amending all my beds. So, let me check to see what this one is. Alright, so this one with the pink flowers is a China aster. I don't remember planting it, but maybe I did because I was trying to refresh in this area with flowers and stuff while I'm amending the rest of the garden so it'll look pretty and keep drawing the bees for the pumpkins that I have planted. I've pretty much pulled out all my squash except for the tromboncino squash. Because it seems to keep me putting stuff out and nothing's biting on it. So that's the only squash I got left going on right now. It's quite a fight on the Texas heat because of it's just hot. It's just hot here in Texas. So anyway, I wanted to start working on this week's video for Garden Tour Thursdays. I will be hashtagging survival seeds. For this video, I'll show some survival seeds plants that I have going on. Okay, so this is one of my pumpkins right here. This is a sugar pie pumpkin. So this is one of them. I also have a sugar pie pumpkin over here. They said to let it grow until the vine is dead, and the vine on this one is still green, so I'm going to keep going with that. Alright, so the third pumpkin is this one right here. This one is not a sugar pie pumpkin. I believe this is a regular or giant sized pumpkin, because I only planted sugar pie pumpkins and giant pumpkins. Not that I'm necessarily going to get a giant pumpkin, but so I have 3 pumpkins that are decent size. There's a bunch of tiny ones, so we'll see how many I end up with this year, but so far I have 3 pretty good size ones. Alright, so this is my elderberry that I transplanted. It seems to be doing okay. All that white surrounding it is actually where I've peeled a bunch of garlic. I thought I would just put a little in here to protect it with a little bit of garlic smell, you know, from bugs and things while I'm getting it established. So it seems to be doing good so far. So yay! Yay, yay! Alright, so I've harvested 4 tromboncino squash so far, and this morning I noticed here's another one. See, it's got the little curve going down there. So I'm going to let that get a little bit bigger. I might pick it a little bit later in the week. And this is over here where my trellis fell down. So there's morning glories and loofah over here. So I'm just going to continue to let it grow, and then when things start to die off, pull all the vines off and see how the trellis is that fell down below there. As you can see, I totally overloaded it, so I have to be a little bit more careful with that next year. These are the flowers for the loofah, so I don't know if loofah will grow if it falls to the ground. We'll see. I haven't had any luck with loofah so far, so we'll see how it goes. All right, update on the early Cal Wonder bell peppers. I just harvested 12 bell peppers off of here, and since that I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's one forming over here too. Anyway, there's about 5 or 6 already starting to form. So, been a really successful bell pepper year. I don't really let them get too big because I'm worried something's going to bite on them. I did amend the soil with bone meal, blood meal. This is a brand new bed. This is the first time I've used it. So bone meal, blood meal, and cow manure. That's what I amended this soil with, and it seems to be doing really well. So super excited about that. So we'll just keep harvesting. And if I don't plan to eat them that night, I just chop them up and put them in a freezer bag and freeze them for later in the winter or sometime when I'm making dinner. So part of the work is done. 4 o'clocks are still looking good. They actually bloom more in the evening. Well, at 4 o'clock. There you go. So anyway, I'm still harvesting seeds from them. I have started to cut them back some. They were kind of, there's a butterfly. They were kind of, you see the butterfly down there? Maybe you could see it. Can you see it? She decided to take off since I did that. Anyway, so I decided to harvest some of this or cut back some of this because it was clouding the hyssop. So, so you can see how big the seeds are. I've been harvesting seeds. I've probably harvested over 500 seeds so far. Working on getting this bed set up for next year. So, you know, I put some cardboard on the bottom. And I've been just putting some spent plants in here. Some of the dirt came from some pots that are done. Just making sure there's no bug activity in them. If there is, I throw that dirt out. You know, like ants or anything else going on in there. Roly-polies, stuff like that I don't really want in my pots. So anyway, so I've been working on that. The tomatoes are looking quite wild. I do have a bunch of the Roma paste tomatoes over there. I kind of let them get a little bit too bushy. Decided to put my new bed right here. So I'm kind of hoeing this area, and I'm going to treat it for bugs. Make sure I kill off some of that grass. Maybe even lay down some cardboard before I put my brand new bed here. So my plan is to cover this area with beds. So I'm going to take care of that area right there. See, it's already lined right here. But I did decide after this year I'm going to put that pallet on top of that pallet to make it taller, and that'll be for buckets or pots. And so that's my plan, is to get this. See, we got this one in the middle. Hi, Mandy. We got this one in the middle, so there's the bed over there that I'm going to plant in. So the point is to get it all the way around with pots, containers, and all that, just to get this all the way around. Also, it's getting harder to get mower, weed eater in this area. So I'm in the middle of already pulling out some plants. So I'm going to line up all new containers in this area for next year. And it is partially shaded here. But what I thought I could do is put up a trellis up on this fence. See, that's where our RV is right there. This is the back of the front of the house. You know, where the RV sits under the new carport. So I'm thinking I could use this bed for things that need shade, like spinach, cilantro, lettuce, things like that need partial shade. So this is going to be my partial shade bed. And then I'm going to clean up this area and line up some more containers in this corner. And I'm just going to make this a whole entire growing area. And then we're going to try to take care of the grass and weeds in this area. You can see I'm in disarray over here. So that you can see I'm kind of soak watering over here. Tomatoes, I've only gotten one so far. I'm having a really slow year, but it is on the wall this year. I planted tomatoes here every other year because hubby put the T-post. So next year I'm probably going to be putting those in containers. This new bed is kind of shallow. It's only about 7 inches deep, so I thought I would plant some flowers and herbs in this area. And then I'm thinking about lining up this bed with maybe squash. I'm going to think about it during the winter and make my assessment, because this does get partial shade over here, which is probably and definitely why the tomatoes grow slow over here. I may eventually, maybe after the end of this year, I'll get the T-post pulled out and put the tomatoes in a different spot. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's my plan. Thank you for watching my garden tour. You guys have a great day. Be blessed. Do something kind, guys.